band away from Jackie.
Yeah, so, you know, the expected answer, of course, would be the Aphelios, but I'm just going to keep highlighting the Gwen and wonder if EDG do just go for that one outright. It has been 3 of Xiaosheng's games so far. His other one has been on the Ornn. Caitlyn left open, though.
I was about to say.
Yeah, I was going to say, we did see JackeyLove hovering over that, but yeah, it's been banned almost every game against them.
Online casting, baby. Yeah, it's been about 90% of the time against EDG, and with Meiko having Karma as well, and then Enchanter support, this is an incredibly oppressive bottom lane. This is going to be incredibly tough for top esports to go up against.
Well, Munch, you did that a disservice. It's not just online broadcasting. It's online broadcasting from China with you in, you know, Europe and me.
We're broadcasting from
NA.
3 time zones right now.
Yes.
That are all 8 hours apart from one another.
It is
honestly,
absolutely beautiful.
Dude, we live in the future. We live in the future. The fact that this is even possible is kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, but you know who doesn't live in the future is top esports bot lane, because you know what? I love that we do just keep our prio on tank supports in the LPL. Not too many teams being willing to go towards the channels like EDG are in this series. So for EDG, we already know the name of the game. Bot lane 2v2 dominance for top esports. Bringing out the Nautilus means trying to get your jungler involved, trying to find these skirmishes where Nautilus is able to offer more. So for TS, going to be interesting to see if they pivot towards playing with their bottom side, which is not something they've really been doing in recent series.
Yeah, certainly not, but the Gwen comes on through. This has been Xiaosheng's #1 pick comfortably. 100% win rate on the Gwen across 3 games so far this split. And we'll see how he's going to be able to form up against Wayward, who also has had a tendency to go towards that Gwen. So I am curious, with the Jace band, we're going to have to see a different version of Wayward, really, because he's played 4 games of the Gwen, 2 games on the Jace, and then 1 game on 4 other picks. So still a lot of discovery available for finding out who Wayward is as a player.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll just opt into the Kennen ban as their second one. Jax, you know, again, we're not quite sure what flavor of champion Wayward would go with, considering that he still hasn't played too many games so far here in the LPL. In the LDL, he was pretty much known for being able to play absolutely anything. But for TS so far, right, they're setting up for a composition that does want to engage, that does want to go in and find access to the backline. The second champion they're going to ban into the Gwen is the Akali, though. So Kennen and Jack still being the ones that do come to mind, unless Wayward wants to opt into something more neutralizing. Of course, Graves still up as well, even if it doesn't do quite as well into the matchup.
Tank junglers, engage junglers. Forward. Now EDG have to decide where they're going to go with this composition. They've got strong laners. Looking for an Olaf potentially, so that they have an aggressive jungler to match those lanes.
If there's any player I am completely fine with picking Olaf in any situation in the LPL, it is 100% Jiejie. Heck, the first game I ever saw from this guy when he came in on EDG was on Olaf, flashing over a red buff wall at level 1 and trying to find, you know, a red buff steal. Was absolutely glorious. We do see on the opposite side, though, TS picking up the Graves that I was highlighting. Now for Knight, gonna have to blind pick for mid. Hovering over aggressive early game options so far, they are gonna go with the Vex. So again, just indexing into the all-in options. They know that EDG are going to be playing from a range, trying to find access to the backline and be able to assassinate Viper in these team fights.
It's kind of interesting seeing how Vex has found her place in the meta, because it feels like there's only a limited number of mid laners that are willing to lock this in professional games, and the situations in which they lock Vex in seem to be quite varied, honestly. It seems like a pickup that is just down to a confidence pick as far as I've been able to see so far. I don't know if you're able to shed more light on that one, as Knight did actually go for this one blind.
Yeah, I feel like Vex is a pick where, again, you're going to typically see it when your composition is all about all-inning, trying to find access to the backline, but you don't have too many, atrocious lane matchups. It is pretty easy to just chill back and try and clear waves with your Q and E once you get to a point. Also, I'd say a more difficult champion as well, right? Because it is all about how you use both parts of your passive, Doom and Gloom, to be able to get off the most damage possible, be able to get the cooldown lower on your Fear. So, like you said, we've seen some people gravitate towards it, Xiaohu being one of them. Rookie, even though he hasn't had the best performances, has been willing to pick it up. And nice to see Knight as well. So, some of our more, I'd say, mechanically skilled and lane-dominant mid laners have typically been the ones trending towards this Vex pick.
Yeah, Does feel like one of these champions that is very snowballing, right? If you can find a lead, you can dive into that backline and one-shot everyone. But the second you miss one of those shadow surges, it feels like Vex just doesn't exist for the entire team fight. So we'll see how Knight's going to be able to do. Certainly mechanically gifted enough to pull it off. But up against Scout on the Orianna, you can see those percentages on the screen. Look good for Vex during the laning phase. Scout, certainly a mid laner to be feared. But EDG now need to get themselves on the comeback once more. They've lost their most recent series. They were in first place for a long time this split. But a couple of rough series have started to change that narrative. And now up against Top Esports, a team that is on a win streak. A team that are currently marching north, as the Chinese community have dubbed it. They're trying to keep this win streak going, and we'll see if EDG will be the brick wall that stops them.
And like I was highlighting before we came into this series, right? Since rebranding from Top Sports to Top Esports 2019, TS have always beaten EDG in the regular split. That includes last year where TS were not very good, and EDG obviously won an LPL split and a World Championship. TS did beat them in the regular season in summer. So, again, just a cool little fact to see if EDG will be able to overcome. Of course, EDG keeping their roster from last year. Top Esports with an absolutely massive shakeup.
Yeah, I mean, huge roster switcheroonie. Mark coming in the support. Wayward coming in up top. Tian being moved over from FPX as well. This is not really the same team as who you saw last year, whereas EDG, I mean, pretty much the same team. It has been Flandre for most of the year. This will be Xiaosheng's 5th game on EDG of the season.
Yeah, and we're already seeing the bot lane, you know, looking for the aggressive poke, right? And for EDG, that's what you draft this for. It's to just pretty much consistently keep your push in and whittle down turret plates as much as possible. Keep top JackeyLove and Mark under turret. Mark finds a bit of a hook.
Look on Meiko, he's ignited as well. A couple more autos and finish the job. Heal comes out. Will survive. Viper trying to answer and will be able to do so. And suddenly that doesn't look like such a good all-in.
Yeah, now's when they're really going to feel the punishment, right? With Mark being on cooldown. This is when it is EDG's time to try and return some damage. So Top Esports can't look for the same engage. That's why for TS, that's what it's all about, right? The all-ins, and especially once you can start comboing with Tian down in this bottom side, looking for those 3v3s. But Tian actually going to be pathing up towards that top side, and Jiejie going to be looking to hover around bot. With how fragile Caitlyn and Karma are as champions, right, both very squishy, it is very important to be able to keep up vision control around bot side so they are allowed to freely push and look to get this poke down.
Yeah, because otherwise they do get themselves susceptible to ganks. And while Karma can help you escape from those situations with the Mantra Shield, you get the movement speed to be able to try and escape from the ganks, it is still a tough one. It is still one of those situations where Caitlyn loves to push, loves to be hitting on those tower plates. So like you say, if you can maintain that vision control, set your bottom lane up for success. But mid lane, good attempt there from Scout to try and make a trade, but a nice little sidestep from Knight so that he'll be okay. But I'm mostly curious about this top lane, honestly, though, because we have two top laners that are, in theory, second fiddle in terms of the rosters, right? I originally would have had Zoom and Flandre going up against each other, but it's Wayward and Xiaosheng.
And I was going to say, I mean, for the side of TS, I mean, yeah, just bringing in Wayward. Wayward was a player we didn't really expect to see at all this split coming in.
Oh my goodness, that is big damage. Meiko takes a tower shot, the flash from JackeyLove to finish the kill. Oh, good attempt from Viper. The combo was there, but it wasn't enough. And Mark will finish that one off. Take an anchor to the face. That's what we call heavy metal.
And what was supposed to be the best bottom lane in the LPL, getting caught by Mark with the hook. Viper trying to salvage the situation with the flash, hoping he can get JackeyLove down, but JackeyLove able to get away and let Mark finish that one off. I mean, this is the whole crux of your composition. Your whole composition is based around this bottom lane getting ahead and then utilizing that to siege down objectives, have control and setups for Dragon, but bam! Beautiful hook coming out from Mark. Meiko not behind minions, playing just off to the right, and then JackeyLove having the confidence to get more damage down, tries to flash to maybe guarantee the Q, but JackeyLove able to flash away himself, also had the heal. Then he doesn't over-aggress, he doesn't care if he doesn't get the kill, allows Mark to go and finish it off. Beautiful coming out from Mark and JackeyLove.
An uncharacteristic mistake from Viper there. Mechanical mistake, not something that we're used to seeing. And Viper and Meiko, they have lost the 2v2 quite a lot of times this year. I feel like there's been multiple situations where we're watching this world champion bottom lane actually losing out in the 2v2 fights. So, bit of a scary situation for EDG fans on the bottom side as JackeyLove and Mark managing to find that advantage. And now already almost 1,000 gold lead in favor of top esports. We're only 5 minutes in.
Surprisingly, I feel like the times we've seen EDG struggle more in the bot lane has been when they pick enchanters. Right now, they're sitting 1-3 on Karma. They have not won the games they played on Lulu or Lux. All of their wins coming on tank. Actually, they have almost 100% win rate on tank supports. They have 1 loss on Leona. Everything else they've played, which is a tank, which is 5 games of Thresh, 2 games of Calm, Alistar, Nautilus, have been wins.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense when you think about how they were playing last year, right? It does line up pretty well. Although, at Worlds, they figured out enchanters, so maybe they just need a little bit more time to get back into the groove of things. But it certainly feels like there's trouble in paradise within this EDG roster. Hook out from Mark, but goes slightly wide. He could be the one in trouble instead now. Doesn't have the anchor to get away. Rooted up as Jiejie just charges him down and brings down some lightning. But in the meantime, Scout's just caught in the middle of the river. I'm not even sure how that happened. And EDG suddenly have to retreat.
Yeah, I think Knight must have flashed with his fear up, because Knight doesn't have flash. He's obviously not low on HP, so I'm sure we'll get a replay of that. But man, ton of action coming out around the bottom side. Mark kind of opening himself up for it by looking for that aggressive hook. Again, the second you go down, you go on cooldown as Nautilus in this matchup, you're just susceptible to be getting bursted out. Yeah. Mark also having no flash just meant it was easy pickings for EDG's bottom lane.
It's worth mentioning as well that Nautilus hook resets half of its cooldown if it hits a wall. It goes on a big, big cooldown if you don't hit anything. It's a really long cooldown if you do miss that, so Mark being punished very heavily for that one. Looks like we're not going to get a replay because EDG have started this Drake off, but I don't think there's any contest for top esports.
Yep, so we do see there, like you said, Munch, it going on the full cooldown, but we're going to see what happened in the mid lane. Oh, actually, both mid laners were level 6. And yeah, Knight going for the flash to be able to guarantee that damage and the fear, and he just instantly goes down. Doesn't really matter because Tian guaranteed the knock up at the same time as well. Just really nice punish by top esports when the rotation was coming out from Scout. And we do see top esports, once again, kind of relying on some of their top side in Knight and Tian, but hell, their bot lane getting ahead as well. Both carries having 1 kill so far, though Viper and Meiko still up in CS. Not really surprising when you consider the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlyn can just outrange the Jinx, and the problem is Jinx can match the Caitlyn range and somewhat can match the push, but she just runs out of mana. You have to use the Fishbone's Q to be able to even remotely maintain that, so it's not very feasible in the long term. Even then, you get poked down by Meiko on this card every single time to try and contest. So it's a tough one. But with the Nautilus, they can just look for those all-ins, which they have been doing very successfully so far this game, and it has led to a huge difference between the AD carries. Look at those items, right? Pickaxe and a Noon Quiver versus 2 long swords. Tough one for EDG right now, if they ever get caught out of position.
I'm curious to see if EDG go for any type of reset and commit to a play for Herald on the top side, because in the stats we were showing earlier, right, EDG are a team that put heavy value on pretty much every objective. Like, they love playing for both Dragon and Herald, but I think it'd even be nice if EDG just commit to playing towards their bot side, especially with Xiaoshang getting pushed in the top lane. Just keep nailing down in this 2v2 as Jiejie's here.
Is here, and both junglers thrown over the wall here. Tian in a 1v1 against the Olaf, but that is one angry Viking, and he only gets angrier the lower health he is. Tian forced to flash in the end, and both junglers walk away wounded, but alive.
Yeah, so ultimately overall win for the side of EDG, being able to blow that summoner coming out from Tian. But we come back to the top side. Wayward so far just maintaining push so far in this matchup. Graves does win early on. You are kind of waiting for Gwen to be able to get some items, make her way towards her mythic before she starts looking for those all-ins. Looks like top esports going to set up for a play on top side and bot at the same time.
Hook onto Viper. The good flash, though, does mean Viper is safe for the time being, and exhaust onto JackeyLove as well. But JackeyLove, you're being a little too aggressive here, mate. Viper down to 300, same for Meiko, but Jiejie is full HP and he's angry. Mark gets over to the wall this time, has to flash away as well. JackeyLove, both summoners used, but Jiejie just face tanks the rocket. I'm not sure how JackeyLove expected that one to go, but a shockwave pulls him back into the action. Nicely done by EDG to bait out top esports.
Yeah, and to totally punish them, right? Because they went for that 2v2 kill the same time as Knight and Tian were pathing top towards the Herald. They were pretty much already at Herald by the time that the engage came out from the side of TS's bot lane. And from what was going completely in their favor, and again, not allowing Caitlyn Karma to do what it is picked to do, kind of thrown away right there with that little burst of aggression coming out. And now JackeyLove and Mark, they don't have flashes, so if Jiejie continues to hover around the spot side, they could be the ones who get heavily punished on a repeat gank. But looks like right now, Jiejie gonna opt into covering for Xiaoshang, knows he has been struggling quite heavily.
Wayward is loving this, though. He's like, you guys, you just keep being aggressive down bot, okay? I'll take tower plates. I'll just maintain this CS lead and slowly but surely push down more and more tower plates. He's 500 gold up individually right now, and he'll be able to get a reset off and grab himself some items. In fact, waiting to see that Xiaoshang has gone for the reset and will push a cheeky bonus wave in as well. So finding ways to find those extra small advantages.
Yeah, really nice coming out from Wayward. And, you know, hitting on Wayward. Wayward overall has looked solid since he's come in. Definitely not any kind of world beater, right? Like, is coming in as a rookie, but overall, the map movements coming out again, he's consistently been with Tian, like invading enemy jungle, hovering around towards mid lane. In matchups where he feels comfortable, he has been doing well in lane, so did go straight towards the Hullbreaker. Gonna get all those extra stats while being isolated. He'll do quite a bit to turrets as well, so Wayward looking to continue his domination in the 1v1.
Good in it so far, but across the map, it is still just a 1,000 gold lead in favor of top esports. They gained that lead when JackeyLove and Mark won the 2v2. Managed to just maintain it at pretty much exactly 1,000 this entire time. Hullbreaker finished off for Wayward in the top side. Remember, while all of this stuff was going on in the bottom lane, Tian did manage to get that Rift Herald for himself, so we'll have to keep our eyes on where that's going to go. By the looks of things,
Looks like it's
might be the mid lane.
Yeah, so dropping that one in the mid lane. Looks like the plan that top esports are going with is not even just to enable their Graves that's winning. It's like, hey, if we can match and answer EDG and bot side, we're already winning out top side by default. And they find it. Nope, doesn't connect from Tian.
Oh, Jiejie flashes forward to just try and start a fight here immediately with the Ragnarok as well. A lot of damage out from him, but he just goes down. Oh no, the ult times out from Tian at the worst possible second. They thought he was safe for the ace in the hole, but his Crescent Guard ran out at literally the last possible millisecond.
Still, though, TS are ultimately the benefiters of this play. JackeyLove getting alone time with the spot side turret, taking a ton of plates for himself, and we've already been harping on the fact that anytime this top lane is left isolated, TS are winning. So 1-for-1 kills going over in mid lane, but TS winning out in both side lanes. Are sitting at about a 1.5 gold lead so far, just from all the shenanigans that have been going on in the early game.
And from the tower plates as well, right? Because Knight got a couple of plates there with the Herald. I think it was 3 plates that went down to the Herald in the end in that mid lane. And then obviously, as you mentioned, JackeyLove getting plates on the bottom side, going even in the kills. So all things considered, positive for top esports here is JackeyLove demonstrating there why it sucks to lane against Karma and Caitlyn. The amount of poke is just so obnoxious. But Tian, he's not afraid of poke. He wants to fight for this dragon. Top esports do not want to allow EDG to just snowball objectives like so many teams do. And so far this game, EDG only getting 1 out of the 3 objectives that we've seen, which is incredibly uncharacteristic for this team.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how EDG handle this, because despite the fact that I do feel like EDG are a pretty complete team in terms of, like, they're not overarchingly bad in any area of the game, as Xiaoshang is not being allowed to play this game. I do feel like EDG, a lot of their clean stomps and great stats come from when their bot lane is dominating and ahead, and they're able to just easily use that to just, you know, have perfect macro on the map. But we're gonna go straight into a replay. Like you said earlier, Jiejie flashing in, looking for the pick onto Tian. They are able to confirm 1 kill with the fact that, like you said, the timing just so unlucky. Or maybe not unlucky, maybe timed, you know?
Maybe it's just Viper being an absolute god. He was literally counting to the millisecond. I don't think so. I think that would be inhuman, but then Viper has done inhuman things before.
Yeah, you know, we just gotta give credit where we can give credit, but now both teams still just posturing around the bottom side. Again, I love how TS come into this, and they're just saying, hey, we know EDG are going to go for a strat like this and just opt into matching them. Jiejie gonna make his way down now to answer, and Scout has first move from mid lane, so JackeyLove and Mark gotta be careful.
Certainly do. Is top esports grouping up with Jiejie in trouble himself here. Scout next to him though, and Knight on the flank, but I don't think anything's gonna happen here. Drake not up for another 3 minutes, so a lot of aggressive posturing, but not much to be gained.
Yeah, also interesting that Scout going for Crown of the Shattered Queen. So feeling like most of the pressure he's going to be feeling, right, is from Knight and Tian just looking for that all-in. And as long as he can survive that, feels like he'll be able to get the damage off that's necessary.
Ragnarok forced out by Mark there. Good little anchor to make sure that Jiejie feels that pressure. And I'm surprised at the amount both teams are really committed to just controlling vision control of a river that doesn't have a Drake in it for another 3 minutes.
There's also no camps up either. Like, Jiejie's Gromp is about to come up. Again, you get vision control. It allows, like, your bot lane to play more aggressive. So there are, like, benefits to what they're doing. But I'm with you. I'm a bit surprised. Second Rift Herald's up, but neither team cares.
Oh, Meiko's in trouble. A hook from Mark as well. There's a zap. Rocket shortly to follow. In fact, no, just Tian taking that one for himself. Viper getting chased down. Tian trying to close the gap. Shadow Surge goes wide, though. That might be the end of the players. Tian will just have to settle for a Gromp, but in the meantime, JackeyLove can get back onto this tower.
Yeah, this just feels so bad, though. Again, you're picking Caitlyn Karma, and you're losing first turret down in bot. We also did see in the right-hand side of our screens that Scout did try to find an ult on Knight and just completely missed. There was no reason for me to reiterate that, but you know what?
Yeah,
it
Knight
happens.
get roasted. Get roasted.
Actually, it was Scout who was getting roasted, but tower goes down for Wayward.
Well, Knight also missed his ult, so...
That's true,
These mid laners, they suck, dude. I'm telling you. Worst mid laners ever. Take that, Knight and Scout.
Yeah, Scout only winning a world championship and Knight breaking the solo kill record last split. Had like 30-something solo kills.
MSC champion? MSC champion, anyone? Anyone remember mid-season cup? Good times, eh?
Hey, you know, all the teams actually took that serious, so that was actually a banger tournament.
Yeah, it was a sick tournament. I remember at the time saying, like, I enjoyed this more than MSI. Because MSI is only one representative from the big regions, whereas that was top 4 from LCK and LPL. I wish we could have that every year. It was so good.
Yeah, bringing back the Rift Rivals vibes is... You know, we still have had the second Rift Herald sitting up in topside with both teams ignoring it. Looks like Top Esports will finally be able to go for that one with EDG committing their resources to the bottom side. EDG really going to have to commit to some cross-mapping, right? Top Esports 4K gold ahead. They are just stronger in terms of the items they've bought. You look at Wayward sitting a whole item above Xiaosheng right now. Any skirmishes that do break out, TS should just squarely be favored in. It looks like, no, EDG actually do want to look to contest.
Well, Tian will still get this. Looks like EDG toying with the idea of the contest, but it's not going to happen in the end.
Thank God they don't munch. Thank God.
Yeah, the 4,000 going down, so I'm not sure it would be a great contest, but I just want to quickly mention once again that EDG, we described them at the start of today, start of the series, as a statistical powerhouse, right? Dragon rate, Baron rate, Rift Herald rate, all at the top of the league. But this game so far, Top Esports getting both of those Rift Heralds, Top Esports getting one of the first 2 Drakes as well. It was like EDG's normal game plan is being challenged. Smart goes for a dive, great depth charge, Rocket goes wide though from JackeyLove, and a Zhonya's is enough for Mark to survive. Flame Chomper's on the TP, and it means Xiaosheng can't do anything about it. Great plays across the board here from Top Esports.
And like you said earlier, right, Mark coming in, Mark has always been an aggressive support, slots into this TES roster perfectly, able to find a kill, able to find a turret, and easily going to be able to take this dragon. Just Top Esports doing a great job of being able to keep up their momentum. And honestly, for EDG, when this comp falls behind, it is a little bit hard. Again, Caitlyn and Karma are very setup-reliant champions. Typically, it's about win out through the bottom lane. Since you have push, you get on Dragon first. You're able to set up all those Caitlyn traps. You have the poke to stop people from being able to walk in. It's kind of like very formulaic, and it goes step by step. Now that they're behind, it's like, Caitlyn and Karma not really able to do too much. Olaf as well, like, you're having to run into the enemy team when they're ahead, when they have more items than you, and you're kind of just left hoping Scout or Xiaosheng are able to get ahead and Scout find either an amazing ultimate or Xiaosheng just exists with a lot of items, because that's all Gwen needs to do to be impactful.
Yeah, just press R at least 3 times in the fight and you are probably going to be useful. Probably going to be invincible as well. Yeah, Gwen, quite a strong champion, but 4,000 gold lead right now. It's Wayward, he's having a whale of a time. He is basically not been a part of the same game as everyone else and now throwing crying amumu's at Xiaosheng, who is just straight up not having a good time, dog. This Graves
that's the thing,
is
right?
brutal.
He's just been getting so much benefit out of having the Hullbreaker. Like, typically you'll see once a top laner buys Hullbreaker, the enemy team will put some resources into like, trying to shut it down. But no, he's just been 1v1 by himself the whole time. He hasn't been around his teammates, is just getting benefit out of all those stats. And he is making great use out of them. Picking up the Executioner's Calling now, trying to stop some of that healing coming out from Xiaosheng. And heck, with no dragon up, right, TS playing very well. They know, hey, the plan right now, get wards into the top side jungle, look to push out top and mid, play for some picks. They were doing that, having some standing gold, though, did go for some resets to finish some items. He's more, Wayward's more than a full item up. He's more than a full item up.
It's 20 minutes in. He's got 3 items. He's on 240 CS at 20
You're right,
minutes
it's 20
as well.
minutes.
It's insane. Wayward, like, it's not been flashy. He's 0-0-0, but like in terms of just fundamental laning, he's destroying Xiaosheng.
Yeah, my God, it is an absolute mess, and I love it because right, even though he's at a slow game, the aggression is still happening on the map. TSC Scout answering in top wave, so they're grouping up, trying to see if someone in mid oversteps and they can potentially find a pick with numbers advantage, while also bleeding gold from EDG by taking away all their jungle camps.
Yeah, there's another tier 2, more gold in the pocket of Wayward as he continues to extend that lead. JackeyLove could be in trouble, but has a red buff and a refillable potion, so he'll be able to regen that health very easily. And now a team fight gonna kick off. Scout has to use Sonya's Viper's caught by Knight though, and he is eradicated. Knight with the resets, and he wants a little bit more as well. Meiko has to flash shot out to safety. Marco slightly wide on the hook, but finally Wayward joins some of the action, but he's too late. Not even an assist.
Man, this is why it's so fun when top esports are playing well, because they're one of the teams who, when they get an advantage, they're going to slam their foot on the gas pedal and keep looking for aggressive plays, not just wait for the neutrals to come up. Xiaosheng, you might be picked off.
And that is not the play, my friend. So much CC on this side. Oh, Wayward got a kill! He did it! He had some flash and shotgun blast against a burning target, but we take those. Wayward finally participates. And that will be Baron for top esports. And we're 22 minutes in. It's 9-3, 2 Drakes, a Baron. Top esports are destroying EDG.
Yeah, and we're gonna see a replay of how it happens, right? Viper and Meiko trying to find any opportunity they can. They know they are slowly being choked out by top esports, so they run forward. Scout perfectly getting hooked by Mark, and then this ultimate coming out from Knight. Viper tries to heal. Isn't able to get over the wall. The fear comes out, and then getting all the resets, they're able to keep going forward. And Munch, I can't remember the term you used in our last series. I believe it was power-fisted. That might be what's happening to EDG right now.
I just want to clarify. That was in the context that there was an undead Scion with its very powerful fists beating the crap out of someone. That was a very specific call that made sense to my head at the time.
It works in this context as well.
It's not what I was trying to say. I just get bullied here, guys. I need some help, chat. I need some reinforcements.
Bagged
top
left
esports
you,
though,
so you're stuck with me.
Oh no, it's a fate worse than death. Oh god. Well, even if I have a fate worse than death, top esports don't. They have a fate of a 1-0 advantage. Oh, that was a witty line, Joe. Good job. They are brutalizing at this point, and you have to start to question what is going on with this EDG squad, right? Subbing out Flandre, which we don't know whether that's a medical thing or whether they just felt like he wanted to be subbed out, or what. But EDG recently have not looked the same as what we saw when they first came into the split. Everyone was talking about how this team literally didn't take a break. They were still on World Championship form, but it doesn't feel like it right now.
I feel like, first of all, again, get away from the enchanters. If you... Oh, you didn't engage?
Tian is completely invincible because he's playing Xin Zhao. Shadow Surge just goes wide, but collateral damage doesn't. Tower down and now flash forwards from Knight to get a fear and a kill. Wayward with a double. He finally enters the game and gets 3 kills immediately. You love to see it. Top esports, they do not wait around. They are speedrunning EDG right now. It's 24 minutes on the clock as one last ditch effort will come out of Xiaosheng. He gets back onto the fountain, but not for long as Mark sacrifices himself to end the game. Top Esports obliterate EDG.
Yeah, you love to see the smiles on their faces, pure domination, and the way they did it, like Wayward just completely taking over the top lane of 1v1. Bot lane, which should be favored for the side of EDG, who have had this Caitlyn banned against them almost every game of the LPL go towards it, and mistakes left and right. Mark finding every hook he needs to be able to guarantee these kills coming through. You see Top Esports dedicating mid and jungle down to that bot lane as well. And it's like, man, beautiful series from TS, but for EDG, again, like, the enchanters aren't really working for them. We've seen them, like, struggling, even when they are able to get ahead in the 2v2, like against Weibo, because that's what Weibo did, was they kept forcing them onto, it was Ezreal Karma that series, and Weibo completely decimated them as well. I feel like for EDG, going with a bot lane that isn't so volatile in terms of if you fall behind, the game is pretty much done, so would be better for them. And again, I think Meiko is the best engager on the team for the side of EDG, so you know, that's obviously a very shallow way to look at the game in terms of, like, just change this one thing, it'll be better. But, heck, when every win counts when going towards playoffs, I think of any Band-Aid fix is good.
Yeah, in the short term, just getting some wins on the board is the play for EDG right now, because Top Esports, I mean, showing that they know exactly how to destroy this strategy. And I want to just quickly shout out Mark as well. You mentioned how well JackeyLove and Mark were doing in the 2v2, but that hook that led to the 2v2 kills for the side of JackeyLove and Mark, that was as JackeyLove was CSing a caster minion. Mark goes for the anchor toss, and it's like literally frame perfect. So the synergy between Mark and JackeyLove, despite the short amount of time they've been playing together, clearly they are on exactly the same.
And I think it's just nice to see Mark come in. Not that I think, like, Zhao was bad by any means, right? But Zhao's still a very young player compared to Mark, who's been playing, I mean, since 2018, you know, then promoting in 2019 with Sino Dragon becoming a DMO, and obviously been all over the place since then. But point is, has the experience, has the knowledge, was always known as a vocal voice in the team, and with JackeyLove, it is coming together beautifully.
It's gorgeous to watch, and honestly, just lane gaps across the board from Top Esports. Let's see if they can keep that up, though, because EDG, they're still the world champion.